Hello everyone, in this video I will show you some best detective games for PC, PlayStation 4, Xbox One and Switch in 2020. But before we start this video, make sure you subscribe to your channel Games Down and hit the bell icon for more gaming videos. So without any further ado, let's start this video. The first game of this video is L.A. Noire. Set during the late 1940s, L.A. Noire is an interactive crime drama in which you play as Cole Phelps, a patrolman turned detective looking to work his way up the police force without compromising his morals. The game sees you inspecting crime scenes for clues, questioning witnesses, and chasing down leads until you narrow down the list to one or two suspects. L.A. Noire defining feature is its highly detailed facial rendering technology, which allows for subtle facial expressions that may indicate when a character is lying. Next up we have The Vanishing of Ethan Carter. The Vanishing of Ethan Carter puts you in the shoes of Paul Prospero, a private investigator with the ability to visualize crimes long after they taken place by analyzing clues in the environment. Played from a first-person POV, the game sees Prospero investigating the mysterious disappearance of a young boy in the picturesque town of Red Creek Valley, Wisconsin. Using Prospero's supernatural powers, you'll piece together evidence and recreate key moments that paint a much different picture of Red Creek. Next up we have Observer. Observer is a cyberpunk-themed detective game from the same team behind the horror-adventure series Layers of Fear. In it, you play as Dan Lazarski, a specialized detective known as an Observer. In this world, observers can tap into the minds of others via a neural link device, using any info they uncover to further an ongoing investigation. However, this power is a double-edged sword, as Lazarski's mind begins to deteriorate over time due to constant exposure to the unfiltered thoughts and emotions of his suspects and witnesses. Next up we have Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc. Eager to study at the prestigious Hope Peak Academy, a group of teens quickly realize they are pawns in a sinister game concocted by an evil bear named Monokuma. Now trapped in the would-be school, the students are forced to play by Monokuma rules, where the only way to escape is to murder a classmate and get away with it. One by one, students start getting killed, prompting you to search for clues, interview key witnesses, and interrogate potential suspects before arriving at a conclusion. Next up we have Grim Fandango Remastered. Grim Fandango is a traditional point-and-click adventure game that greatly benefited from a remastered version with updated visuals, sounds, and controls. The game takes place in an alternate world called the Land of the Dead, a place where all dead souls end up. However, to get there, they first have to travel via various modes of transportation contingent on the number of good deeds they committed during their life. Next up we have the Darkside Detective. Blending contemporary pixel art design with classic point-and-click gameplay, the Darkside Detective is a comedic adventure game with excellent writing and interesting characters. The game sees you playing as Detective Francis McQueen, joined by his cop partner Dooley, as the two solve a series of bizarre cases caused by supernatural powers. McQueen is a bold detective who's not afraid to speak his mind, even when it comes to complaining about how underfunded his department, the Darkside Division, is. Next up we have The Wolf Among Us. The Wolf Among Us is a dark and gritty detective thriller based on the award-winning Fables DC comic book series written by Bill Willingham. Set in an alternate universe where fairy tale characters have adapted to modern civilization, the game has you play as Bigby Wolf, aka the Big Bad Wolf. In this society, Bigby holds the title of Town Sheriff, entrusted to keep the streets of Fadlatown clean and its citizens safe. Next up we have Judgment. Set within the Yakuza universe, Judgment is an action-packed detective game that includes numerous references to the Japanese beat-em-up along with cameos from well-known characters. The story follows lawyer-turned-detective Takayuki Yagami after he is assigned to a murder case involving a killer who gets joy from removing victims' eyes. The game tasks you with searching the fictional Tokyo district of Kamiroko in search of clues while assisting in smaller cases and sometimes getting yourself in alleyway brawls with thugs. Next up we have Return of the Obra Dinn. Return of the Obra Dinn is a fascinating detective game that manages to create a strong sense of atmosphere despite the limitations of its monochromatic 1-bit visuals. In it, You play as an insurance adjuster tasked with figuring out why the crew of the Obra Dinn mysteriously disappeared. To complete this task, you have your trusty magical pocket watch, called the Memento Mortem. Next up we have Sherlock Holmes' Crimes and Punishments. We would be remiss not to include at least one entry from Frogware's adventure mystery series centered on the world's greatest detective. Crimes and Punishments, in particular, is a great example of how to adapt sleuthing to an interactive medium like video games. Clues aren't just handed to the player, but instead earned by searching carefully through every nook and cranny of the crime scene. Once you gathered enough evidence to build a case, it's still possible to be wrong in your deductions since the game will often withhold critical details from the player. So that's it guys, thanks for watching this video. Subscribe to your channel Games Down and press the bell icon for more gaming videos.